The dragon recognized him instantly. Only the Shadow Monarch had the power to pull a soul back from the abyss, and Kamish knew exactly who stood before it. The King of the Dead in human form, and the power he wielded sent a chill through the dragon's entire body. For a moment, the two simply regarded each other. Then Kamish's gaze drifted past Jinwoo's shoulder to the cluster of slack-jawed humans behind him. The hatred it had carried to its dying breath came flooding back. It rose to its full height, eyes burning red. All of you. I will kill all of you. The chamber began to heat. A mass of red light formed in the dragon's mouth, and both the director and assistant director had seen footage of what that light could do. Adam grabbed the director's shoulder. "We need to get out." "How do you escape a dragon's breath?" One staff member's knees buckled. Two others frantically entered the door password. Neither would matter. "Stop!" The fire in Kamish's mouth went out. The staff lowered their arms from their faces. They'd thought themselves dead. Jinwoo let out a slow breath. The idea had worked. He walked forward and spoke quietly in the language of magic beasts. "The essence stone that was once inside your head was taken a long time ago. You don't have to listen to the rulers anymore." Behind him, is he speaking the language of magic beasts? I don't know what to make of what I'm seeing right now. The dragon was surprised by its own compliance. It lowered its entire body, nose pressing to the floor. This former servant of the Dragon King bows down to its new master. Jinwoo laid his hand on Kamish's snout. The dragon closed its eyes. Something eased in it at the touch, and Jinwoo could feel the shift as clearly as a change in temperature. His heart hammered. "Kamish the dragon is really my soldier now. Mr. Connor," Adam said quietly from across the room, "is Kamish wagging its tail? The worst disaster in human history, not man's best friend, and yet, oh my." Jinwoo removed his hand. The tail stilled. He remembered something. "You said you served the Dragon King before?" "That is right, my king. The Monarch of Destruction." He wanted to give the dragon its original name back. "So what's your—" He stopped. Kamish's body was crumbling, not collapsing, dissolving grain by grain, like a sandcastle in wind. The scales along its neck, which had caught the chamber's light with a deep iridescence only moments ago, were going dull now, clouding from the edges inward the way breath fogs glass. The nearest broke free and disintegrated before it reached the floor. Then another. What remained was grey and chalky, crumbling as though the dragon's body had only ever been held together by the force of its will to exist, and that will was running out. Its voice grew distant. "Alas, my king, I believe it is time for me to bid you farewell." "What?" "It appears we've met a little too late. 8 years at the bottom of the abyss had consumed too much. Even the Shadow Monarch's power couldn't overcome time. I envy the soldiers who can serve your majesty forever. One last warning, barely audible. My king, there exist 4 humans who have borrowed the powers of the rulers. Beware." Although it was fleeting, it was an honor to serve. Gone. Silence. The lights stopped flickering. The director rushed to examine the remains, untouched, as if nothing had happened. Jinwoo stared at the empty floor. Shadow extraction has failed. Too much time has elapsed since the subject's time of death, rendering the extraction futile. The subject's shadow has returned to the void. He had never hated the sound of the chime as much as he did in that moment. Wham! He punched the floor, and for a second, the whole building shook. Adam escorted him back to the hotel in silence. At check-in, he tried. "I'm in charge of looking after you during your stay, so please call me anytime." "Sure." Adam went from smiling to shivering. First time dealing with a high-rank hunter in a foul mood. The negotiations were quietly postponed. Jinchul met them in the lobby. He'd been trying to reach Jinwoo. Outsiders couldn't use phones inside the Hunter Command Center headquarters. No exceptions, not even for important guests. Jinho had received a message to meet Jinwoo at the HQ. Jinwoo had sent no such message. Jinho wasn't on the visitor log. Someone had picked him up 2 hours ago. S-rank hunter Dongsu Huang. The name hit Jinwoo differently than it hit the others. A cold instinct fired before he could name it. Adam called the Scavenger Guild. Laura answered and remained entirely composed until she brought up Jinwoo's name herself, without prompting, before Adam had mentioned it. Adam glanced at Jinwoo, who shook his head. "Don't confirm." Jinwoo was already walking toward the exit. "Hunter Sung! The guild is handling it." Adam followed, then stopped at an empty street. Where did he go? In a quiet alley, deactivating stealth, an S-rank hunter had used his name as bait. The guild had immediately asked whether Jinwoo knew. Something's fishy. He'd already lost Kamish's shadow. He wasn't losing Jinho. Find him. 1,000 shadows burst from beneath his feet and scattered through the city. In Korea, Beru was watching television. Jinwoo's mother had stopped worrying and was beaming at the conference footage. "Gina, your brother is on TV." Gina abandoned her textbook, and in the shadows, Beru, gazing at the screen with sparkling eyes. "Oh, my king." Then a chill ran up his spine and his body began to tremble. He'd felt this once before when Jinwoo had looked down at him with intent to kill. He'd never felt it since becoming a shadow soldier. "My king is furious." He reached out. "My king, please remain calm. I shall be right there." "No, stay there." The fury in the reply made Beru shiver. "As you wish, sire." He retreated deeper into the shadow and tried to forget his terror. In Busan, Yoon Tae-jung grabbed Guildmaster Jong-soo Park's arm mid-pre-raid briefing. "Boss, the shadow beneath your feet just moved." Jong-soo stared. "How many times have I told you not to drink before a raid? I haven't had a single drop. I swear it was alive." Jong-soo sighed deeply. "You're sitting out today." "Boss." Shadow soldiers cared nothing for eyewitnesses. Their king was furious, and they were agitated with it. The sounds of a city poured through them into Jinwoo's mind as he stood on a rooftop, perception fully extended. "Smith, how are you these days?" "Miss, our store doesn't allow returns." "Why weren't you at the party?" Car horns, TV broadcasts, cats meowing. Sweat ran down his forehead. If only I'd kept a shadow soldier with Jinho. He'd used the one in Jinho's shadow to reach Chairman Yu's hospital room and never replaced it. First Kamish's shadow, now Jinho. He gritted his teeth and expanded the search perimeter. Thomas, meanwhile, had found his 2 monitors knocked out in Dong-soo's empty condo. He clicked his tongue and gave the order, "Find him before Jinwoo does." Laura located Dong-soo faster than anyone expected. GPS pattern deviations, 3 visits to an unknown location. She'd told the Hunter Command Center that if they didn't cooperate, Thomas and Hunter Sung might come to blows. They shared the data immediately. Adam, watching 100 scavenger hunters mobilize and cancel a planned raid, broke into a cold sweat when Thomas himself walked out the front door. He called the assistant director with a shaking voice. "Mr. Connor, Goliath, Thomas Andre is on the move." In the abandoned factory, Dong-soo was leaning close to Jinho's bruised face for the 3rd or 4th time. He yanked him up by the hair. "Listen, I have no intention of killing you. The guy laughing right now is a talented healer. He'll bring you back from the brink every time." Jinho blinked at the healer, who wagged a finger at him cheerfully. "This factory's been closed 5 years. Scream all you want. So, do you want to talk now?" Jinho's lips moved. Dong-soo leaned in. "Fuck you." Whack. Head to the floor. "Whoa! Did you kill him?" The healer scrambled forward and checked the pulse. "Whoa, Mr. Wang, please be careful. I don't want to be an accessory to murder." Noted. The 3rd man in the room was getting nervous. "Haven't you pushed him enough? Let's go." "I'm just getting started." He was every bit as cruel as his older brother. Then the nervous man noticed a shape at the far end of the factory. A high orc in black armor, shaking, expression terror-stricken, barely holding itself together. "It looks like that beast is afraid of you, Mr. Huang." Dong-soo surrounded his fist with white light. "I don't have time for this." Exchange. Jinwoo materialized in the orc's place. All 3 froze. Dong-soo's heart sank, but Jinwoo walked straight past him to Jinho, crouched down, and poured in a healing potion. The notification appeared immediately. HP too low. Crack. The empty bottle shattered in his hand. He needed healing magic. Beru was in Korea. He turned. "Are either of you a healer?" One man nodded. Jinwoo pointed at Jinho. "Heal him." The healer looked at Dong-soo. Dong-soo shook his head. Jinwoo lowered Jinho carefully and stood. "This is the last time I'm going to tell you." Same answer. The healer smiled. "You'll have to persuade my boss Fur." Wham. Head to floor. Exactly what Dong-soo had done to Jinho. It happened so fast, even Dong-soo the S-rank hunter didn't see him move. Jinwoo turned to the 3rd man, who was already backing up. Jinwoo Sung! Hunter Jinwoo Sung! He glared at Dong-soo. "You never said this had anything to do with Jinwoo Sung." "I asked if you were a healer." No, Invisible hand, head into ground. 2 high-rank hunters unconscious in seconds. "Boss, The shaking floor had helped. Jinho had his eyes open. Boss. Jinwoo crouched. Jinho. Swollen eyes, bloody mouth, forced words. Dongsu Huang, younger brother. Be careful. Shh, don't talk. Boss. He grabbed Jinwoo's hand. Tears forming. Can you hold on a little longer? Jinho nodded. Jinwoo set down the hand and stood. His gaze found Dongsu. Dongsu's knees nearly buckled at what was in those eyes, but he didn't run. It was you! You killed my brother, Dongsu Huang, didn't you? Jinwoo stopped right in front of him. Go ask your brother. Dongsu swung a light-wrapped fist. Jinwoo ducked and hit him once, in the stomach. Dongsu coughed blood. Thomas crashed through the roof. He scanned the room, found Dongsu, and his expression darkened. Is he still alive? For now. Let him go. I'll pretend this didn't happen. And if I say no, I'm not asking. The world's mightiest tank bared his teeth. The average hunter would have collapsed. Jinwoo didn't move. Come at me, then. Thomas raised an eyebrow. He hadn't heard that in a long time. Kaisel and Igris materialized. Take Jinho to the closest hospital, whatever it takes. Igris bowed, mounted the dragon, departed through the ruined ceiling. Then Jinwoo called his army. Darkness spread and shadow soldiers emerged one by one, filling the factory all the way to the back. Thousands. Thomas spotted S-rank level soldiers among them. A shielded knight, a hooded spellcaster, giants at the rear. He wasn't sure his entire guild could take them. He licked his lips. He felt the same thing he'd felt fighting Kamish. He ripped off his shirt, and his muscles swelled into armor. Golden steam rose from his shoulders. Admit your mistakes and stand down. Jinwoo responded by flipping him off. Thomas's teeth ground. He activated enforcement, muscles to 3 meters, arms like marble columns. Jinwoo released his own magic power. The blast of energy from both of them together stole every onlooker's breath. The fight was extraordinary. Thomas had the strength and the armor. Jinwoo had the speed. When Thomas activated capture, a gravitational pull yanking Jinwoo toward him, Jinwoo countered with ruler's authority and used the momentum to hit harder than a normal punch could have landed. Thomas bled, for the first time since becoming a hunter. He activated Demolish, fists into the floor, a shockwave that shattered everything in range and sent hunters and shadow soldiers alike flying, screaming. Then capture again, and Power Smash loaded into his right hand. Jinwoo didn't dodge. He accelerated into the gravity with ruler's authority. Thomas spat a curse, swung first. Jinwoo ducked, and hit him again. Kapow. Thomas shot through the factory wall and carved a trench in the earth. He pushed up. Jinwoo was already there. Thomas roared and swung. Each missed blow left craters in the ground, but Jinwoo slipped everything and hit back. Pow! Bam! Blood pooled. I am Thomas Andre. Do you really think this is enough to best me? I already told you. Whack, an uppercut. I don't care who you are. Demolish. Kaboom, earthquake, but Jinwoo had already leaped before it activated and came down elbow first into Thomas's face. Wham, hands and knees. Blood everywhere. He pushed up one more time, swinging, missing, weakening. Jinwoo avoided everything and kept hitting. Thomas wobbled. A kick sent him skyward. Ruler's authority pulled him back down. Wud. Spread eagle in the dirt. Jinwoo got on top and drove his fists down just as he had done to the demon monarch Balan. Pow! 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 Hunter Sung! Stop! Please stop! Adam, sprinting across the lot, arm out. Jinwoo charged his fist. A terrifying amount of magic power gathered. No, stop! Thomas parted his lips. I've lost. Jinwoo's fist stopped at the tip of his nose. The national-level hunter went limp. Jinwoo lowered his fist and stood. From behind a pile of rubble, a shutter clicked. Kashak. The reporter had followed the scavenger guild when they cancelled the raid. He reviewed his photos with shaking hands. Thomas Andre, bloodied, unconscious. The man walking away, no expression. $5 million. He'd thought the editor would refuse. The editor's hands had trembled, turning through the pictures. They had a deal. Inside the factory, an agent found Dongsu in the dark. Turned to Adam. He isn't breathing, and his heart isn't beating. A healer had stabilized Thomas, every bone broken, severe bleeding, and added, he lived only because he's a national-level hunter. Any other person, this much damage would have killed them at least 10 times over. Adam absorbed this. 100 elite scavenger hunters had been incapacitated, all recovered. Not one additional fatality. Their opponent had gone easy on all of them. The internal report was brief. Do not provoke him. Later that night, a playground next to the swings. A black knight lay prostrate, balanced on his feet and forehead. "My king, how long must I stay like this?" Jinwoo sat on a swing, looking at the backs of his hands, torn up from punching Thomas. They'd heal. Until Beru tells me Jinho's treatment is done. The night was quiet. Then, "My king, please bestow a name upon me as well." Jinwoo looked at his newest shadow soldier, the one made from Dongsu. Level 1, general rank. He thought about it and smiled without warmth. "Since you died because you were so selfish, why don't we call you Greed?" In a hospital room across the city, Beru materialized via shadow exchange. Soft blue light spread from his hand over Jinho's body. Jinho stopped tossing. His pained expression eased. He opened his eyes. A huge ant head was inches from his face, one finger pressed to its lips. "I must be dreaming." Jinho closed his eyes and fell back asleep, smiling. Beru quietly continued healing him into the night. The morning headline: Thomas Andre knocked out, one hunter, the entire scavenger guild, reasons unknown. The photos confirmed everything. Korea's internet erupted. Japan was even more enthusiastic. Their savior had knocked down America's hero. Outside Jinwoo's hotel, a wall of reporters. He wasn't avoiding them. This was a chance to make clear what happened to anyone who touched his people. Besides, he hadn't broken any laws. Self-defense was legal in the US, and he'd stopped the moment Thomas conceded. Adam arrived with 2 Hunter Command Center agents. "Are you here to arrest me?" "No." Adam straightened his jacket and bowed 90 degrees. "We would like to express our extreme gratitude. If you hadn't stopped when you did, the US would have lost both national-level hunters." The meeting all night had reached one conclusion: do not provoke him. The Hunter Command Center would handle the incident. Adam held Jinwoo's gaze and thought, this is the man who crushed the Scavenger Guild. "Shall we go?" At the conference, Dr. Belzer's presentation, magic matter accumulating in the skies above 9 locations worldwide, Seoul with the heaviest concentration. When Jinwoo heard Seoul through his earpiece, everyone in the room looked at him simultaneously. He sighed. 9 locations, 9 monarchs. Probably not a coincidence. Dr. Belzer, having read the morning paper, tried to diffuse. "I read the article too, but don't blame Hunter Sung. If he caused all this magic matter, he wouldn't be a hunter, would he?" Nervous laughter. Then Director Brannan took the stage unannounced. "With a heavy heart, I regret to inform you that 2 weeks ago, Hunter Christopher Reed was killed by unknown assailants. Footage: the burned mansion, the body, the hole in his chest. Then the prime suspect, an Asian man's face on screen. The hunters noticed the resemblance to someone in the room immediately. No one said it. Jinwoo bit his lower lip. The footage showed Suspect S's foot on Dongsu Hwang's neck. Jinwoo watched closely, extending his perception the way he did in battle. He read Suspect S's lips. "Don't ever set foot in Korea. I say this not for my son's sake, but for your own. You won't be able to close your eyes even when you're dead." Badump. His father knew he existed. Jinwoo reached out to his newest shadow soldier, Greed. "It is as you suspect, my king." From the back of the room, Jigang Liu raised his hand. "Wouldn't it be easier to track him if you revealed his identity?" The director pressed the button. Ilwan Sung. The room erupted in whispers. Jigang raised his hand again. "I have a question for Hunter Sung. If Suspect S really is your missing father, and hunters try to take him down, what will you do?" Jinwoo thought for 1 second. "If he's a magic beast, I will end him with my own hands. But if he's my actual father, I will protect my family, even if it means becoming an enemy of all hunters." Not one person in the room contested this. Outside, "Did you really mean that?" Jinwoo smiled. "Yes." Adam laughed despite himself. 500 elite hunters from 120 countries, and Jinwoo had told them all straight to their faces. Nobody challenged it. Even Jigang had just watched. Only 2 people in the world could have gotten away with saying that in front of those people. Jinwoo was curious. "Who's the other?" "He's in the hospital right now." Adam's smile was a little bitter. Jigang himself approached shortly after, flanked by his guildmates, and Adam switched to Chinese mid-stride. Jigang had fought one of the escaped giants on the Chinese coast. The water made it brutally difficult, and had wanted to meet the hunter who dealt with 29 of them on land. He held out his hand and smiled. His serious expression earlier had apparently been nerves. Then he said something that made Adam chuckle. He was glad Jinwoo had laid into Thomas Andre. Even though he wasn't there, Thomas had probably done something to deserve it. Jinwoo's first impression of Shigang had been a prickly middle-aged man. He revised it. Before they parted, Shigang's expression turned somber. Adam translated, "He genuinely hopes that Suspect S is not your father. He says he never wants to fight you." Jinwoo wordlessly nodded. The director then led Jinwoo down a separate hallway, apart from where Shigang and two others had been directed, two presences with heavy magic power, and stopped at a door. "There's someone waiting for you." She requested the meeting herself. Jinwoo sensed the signature before the door opened. He hadn't expected to encounter it again. "It's been a while, Hunter Sung." "Indeed, Mrs. Selner." The upgrader's eyes hadn't changed. The involuntary fear she felt looking at him was still there. She explained, the same dream every night. Hunters becoming the hunted. Figures with faces hidden in black, chasing them down. A few days later, that dream comes true. "Christopher Reed?" She nodded. She tried to use her ability within the dream to see their faces. What she found had forced her awake. "I still remember the voice. It told me to go back and quietly wait for the war. That matches what the King of Giants told me. The power in those figures, what did it feel like?" Her hands were trembling. She'd been holding them in her lap to hide it, but they were trembling. "It was the same power as the one within you," Hunter Sung. When she looked at Jinwoo, truly looked, the way her ability sometimes compelled her to look at things she'd rather not, she saw depth that had no bottom. Not power in the way she understood power. Bright, finite, something you could measure. What she saw in him was a void shaped like a person, an abyss wearing a face. The first time, it had stolen the breath from her lungs. In the dream, the figures hunting hunters had carried that same quality, not overwhelming force, but the terror of something that could not be diminished, could not be escaped, because it was not outside you but underneath everything. She had woken up on the floor. She hadn't told anyone that part. Jinwoo's face darkened. She'd seen the Shadow Monarch's power in him, and now she was describing the same power in the beings hunting national-level hunters, the Monarchs. The director offered Kamish's runestone, protection contract, anything. "I'm sorry." "Is it because of Hunter Andre?" "No, it's because I don't know the enemy yet." He didn't make promises he couldn't keep. He'd watch, respond in his own way. And with a shadow soldier placed near every hunter on the Hunter Command Center's watch list, he could respond without delay. He rose and left. Thomas woke in the hospital. He checked his beard, about a day. Laura was at his bedside with a laptop. He asked about Dong-Su. She opened her mouth, then closed it and shook her head. He absorbed this and changed the subject. "Any other damages?" "Many injured, all recovered." Thomas's voice jumped. "No other fatalities?" "Correct." He blew out a breath. He'd destroyed them, and they'd all walked away. Their opponent had gone easy. He felt no rage. He felt something closer to respect. Power was his truth. The man who beat him had simply had more. Laura handed him a glasses case. His old pair had been collected at the scene, badly damaged. A new identical pair inside. Thomas chuckled and put them on. "I owe you as always." "Just doing my job," he stared into the distance. "Make sure Mr. Huang gets the best funeral. He was still our member. Then, tell Hunter Sung that I, Thomas Andre, offer him an official apology." In Seoul, 14 hours behind, President Go had finally gotten confirmation. Scavenger Guild at fault, no consequences for Jinwoo. He'd been terrified of Jinwoo ending up in an American prison. He laughed until his throat went dry. Wait a minute. Who could actually detain Jinwoo in the first place? He'd knocked out Thomas Andre. Outside the window, Seoul lay quiet in its after-midnight way. The Han River a dark ribbon, bridge lights like scattered constellations, streets still, but not empty. He'd governed this city for years and knew its sounds by hour. He'd always done his best thinking against that backdrop. Tonight it felt small. He reached toward the side table. The water bottle was a bit far. He paused, then held out his hand. The bottle flew toward him. He caught it, twisted the cap, and smiled. He still wasn't used to it. He wasn't sure he wanted to be. Director Wu will surely have a story to tell me when he gets back. "Ha ha!"